Rosas is here, and we are already back in it, and we're ready for round two. The Big O and Steiner, we ready for this or what? Chat, we ready for this?
Absolutely, let's go.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to watch things go onto desks.
Damn right, yeah. And the rooftop match, loser jump in, put it all in pack. Okay. That's, I like the sounds of that, and we already got a little spoiler who's going on. We got Biriarr from Team Berserk, aka Team Deck Planet Canada, here on the left, and we got Hermit Styles, Pac-Man, also known as Larry, his actual name, but the Pac-Man special on YouTube. And, no, please go ahead. And they're ready to go, Judge. I got both the decks.
Now, I want to know from each of you two, based off of the leaders, who are you two each rooting for?
Ooh, right. So we've got on the one side. I'm gonna say this, and if I've got the wrong decks open, then tell me straight away. Bulma, Hirudegarn, and Boujack versus AOD, Soul Striker, and Yellow Turles. Am I correct?
Yes.
You are
Thank
correct.
God. Based solely off of the spice and the fact that, you know, TDP for life. Oh, we need an NWO thing for that, don't we? I'm gonna have to go with Biriarr here. The spice that these lists have is actually making me very, very happy.
Yeah, Biriarr, 100% with his spice. Like, that's... I think the last time you mentioned he had, like, 30 decks that were just built. And he just goes through decks and builds. I thought I had a lot. No, this guy, he's a mad lad.
I mean,
we need a Royal Rumble with just all 30 of his decks.
Yeah.
He plays one, he loses, he plays the next deck. He loses, he plays the next deck.
I already know I'm just going to be rooting for the Boujack the entire time. I want to see Boujack played.
Yeah, I mean, obviously immediately off the bat, we've got Yellow Turles versus Set 4 Hirudegarn with the full blue-green chain. But I'm looking at it and I don't see the 9-drop.
Tomku, thank you so much for the
gift. 7-drop.
Absolute killer. You did amazing in the last
Striker. Again, triple strike if you've got 4 more energy. Pretty interesting. We've got kind of traditional, the 9-drop Colossal Malice, which can take cards from opponent's hand. But we've got one copy of the 6-drop green critical. I'm a huge fan of that 6-drop. That 6-drop can get you so much value if you play it by using the other Hirudegarn cards to get rid of it. And it's a really good board control card. Yeah, we chat is begging, screaming. You can hear them in the rafters. Timbits, Timbits.
Yeah, we got it up. We got it up. We're ready to go. You guys got 5 minutes. Put those Timbits down. And also another huge shout out, Tomku. Thank you so much for the gift sub. And whoever got that, Island saying, best be praying on his amazing skills in the last match as well too. And his amazing... what's the opposite of amazing? His horrible luck there at the end, having Baby Hatch in his life.
So it looks like the blue Hirudegarn player is playing all of the Set 14 Hirudegarn stuff and leaning much more into a blue engine. Again, no Baby Hatch. The Super Pycon secret rare. Making another showing. And I'm very excited to see that come down and win a game.
On the flip side, we've got Pac-Man's Yellow Turles list. Obviously, Yellow Turles starts with the Tree of Might Divine Roots unison in play. A 1-marker, 16k unison to counter-attack. Looking to work its way through what looks like a... I don't want to say it's generic, because it's actually not that generic. Lots of staple yellow cards in here. You've got Poutine, you've got a couple of copies of Basil, you've got Dragon Fist, Goku, the 8-drop, which is pretty... a pretty spicy inclusion. It's going to be a really interesting matchup between whether the Hirudegarn player can cycle through their chain or the Turles player can negate skills and stall them out long enough.
Something very interesting about this Turles list is he's only running 2 copies of this Unison. So oftentimes I feel like if the first Unison dies, he's going to struggle to get another copy out, and that will turn off all of his Dragon Fists for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I wonder if the Son Goku is like the turbo play, if he's trying to go really heavily aggro, just kind of lock out his opponent from sort of doing things in his opponent's turn. The blue player is also not running the Boo Unison, which is, I wonder how that's going to pan out in kind of the later turns, because the blue Boo Unison, there is not much better for blue to play on turn 4 than a Boo Unison.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably going to be looking to go up those Hirudegarn chains by the time it gets to turn 4, and he's probably looking to go for a more aggressive route than would warrant playing a Boo Unison, but it is definitely a very strong card to lose out on. Yeah,
typically speaking, when blue decks are being built, I feel like once you put in your super combos, and your SCR potentially, I'd argue that the Boo Unison is probably one of the first things that you look to put in. I'm not trying to say that obviously Biriarr knows his deck inside out, it'll know all the lines and stuff. I always feel like cutting the Boo Unison lowers the power level of the deck. And as we know, Dragon Ball it's all about power levels. If your power level's low, then you're not going to survive the first wave of bosses, are you? You're just going to die straight away. Right, so going into this turn 2 for the Hirudegarn player, we've immediately swung a leader. Hirudegarn's leader effect is it's quite useful because you can pitch a battle card, and draw 2 cards, and then a couple of the cards that you pitch have effects when they're pitched, to let you kind of filter through the deck. Like the Hidden Darkness Minotia lets you, add a Hirudegarn the Wanderer from your deck to your hand, which is essentially a +2. And then the Hirudegarn the Wanderer, and when it's placed in your drop, I believe you can use that and a Tapion or a Minotia and Tapion to play out some of the other cards in the chain. It also lets your 7-drop Calamity Complete gain triple strike, because you can send these hero cards from your drop to your warp.
I completely missed the others. Thank you again, Tom.
And the Turles player has decided to charge his 2nd Unison. So if this Tree of Might dies, he's going to have no access to Dragon Fists for the rest of the game. The question is, will the Hirudegarn will the Hirudegarn expect him to only have 2 copies of the Unison and maybe start targeting his Unison?
He has got a copy of Days in his deck with Barrier, which you can play, and then play a Tree of Might Divine Roots from your deck or drop with a marker on it.
That is very true.
He does have a way to kind of cycle back through it, and I suppose the name of the game is protect the tree for as long as you can. If it does go, play a Days, and then just try and recuperate some of those markers. But Blue's now got a 2-drop Unison, a Unison with 2 or more markers live, which means that Trunks is live, and quite a strong position for Blue to be in here. You've got 4 cards tapped down, which means that Basil can't get dual attacks, so that's quite nice. You're looking to, the yellow player's looking to maybe apply some pressure here. Maybe not necessarily to life, but you want to start whittling down those Unisons, the Unison markers, to kind of push the advantage more towards you.
Yeah, and Turles is definitely a deck that can get some very nice free 15k swings, although it looks like for this turn he's not been able to get that, and he's instead gone for the Lakusai and Raisin combo, which I believe the yellow versions also tutor each other out from the deck, as well as the green versions.
Yes, they do. Obviously, this is a limit 1, which means that you can only play one from one copy of each.
I opted to Trunks counterplay the Lakusai.
Interesting choice. I think it's because the Lakusai came from life. I believe that's how that does when it's flipped over. Yeah, because of the Tree of Might unison, it lets you play the Lakusai from hand. Sorry, from your life. So what he's done there, it looks like, is he's denied the free value from the tree, which has then forced the Turles player to pass with 3 energy up.
Yeah, and that's the main thing about Yellow Turles, is a lot of the archetype cards don't really do much outside of allowing you to play a card from your life each turn, which seems good on paper, but a lot of the archetype cards are like 9k or 5k power, so they can't really attack, and they give you some nice value, but they don't have all that much protection. So sometimes your play just gets stopped like that, and then you pass with 3 open energy because you're not on turn 4 where you can play Dragon Fist or anything like that.
The something for the blue player to bear in mind is the yellow player thus far has not played any extra cards, either in energy or played them to get their effects off. This means that the Robotic Riposte, which is being played at 4, obviously the players don't know this, but Robotic Riposte is a 3 cost currently. So it is live, because obviously the Turles player has 3 energy, but he's not got that cost reduction yet, which means that it's going to be a very expensive counter-attack.
And the same thing is true for the Steadfast Assistance Goku. He's also going to be costing 3.
Yeah.
Which really limits the interaction that the Turles player can have on the opponent's turn. Although, saying that, here comes Power of a Super Saiyan into Poutine, and suddenly everything is fine for him again.
Time for that meme again! I tap 1 energy, I tap down all of your energy. I play 14 battle cards, I draw 76 cards, I drain your bank account, I lock out your PayPal, you're logged out of Facebook, your Instagram account is hacked, you've suddenly, all of your tweets from 2012 have been dug up, you've been cancelled online, and your combo phase.
Yeah, that sounds like yellow.
That really does.
So the Turles player, another interesting thing to note, only 1 copy of the cooler counter. I suppose the deck's quite light on space. We've got 2 copies of Dragon Fist, we've got 3 copies of Frieza's Army Reinforcements, which means that we can manipulate the life a little bit, mitigate some of that damage. It's also an extra card which reduces the cost of Robotic Riposte. We've also got a copy of the Wicked Saiyans, which I've yet to see be played at all, but it does kind of allow for a bit of pressure from the Turles player if he needs it, because he has got the 2 energy life. It looks like the Hirudegarn player is starting to go up the chain, which is very exciting. Tapped an energy, he's gone up to the 5-drop Catastrophic Combination.
That's going to bounce something?
Yes, it bounces a 4 or less back to its hand, not ignoring barrier.
Oh, and that 5-drop is a barrier dual attack, and it can potentially go up into the 6-drop green Hirudegarn, which he is running 1 copy of. So presumably he'll probably keep that in active mode after swinging once, and then try and go for an all-in turn later down the line with that 6-drop?
Actually, although the 5-drop does also allow the 7-drop to come down, because the 7-drop evolves onto a Hirudegarn with a cost of exactly 5. Not 5 or more, exactly 5.
Ah, yeah.
There's a couple of things about the set 14 Hirudegarn support that I think needed... I would argue it could have been designed slightly differently. Obviously, those of you who have spoken to me about Dragon Ball know that I've basically redesigned the entire card game. It's suddenly really fair, and you know, everyone has a good time playing my version of the card game. Yeah, Irritorum is absolutely spot on there. I've just pushed my glasses up on the top of my head and got it actually. So I think that they tried to provide support for Blue Hirudegarn, which is totally fine. It's a good archetype that needed a bit of a push. The actual Hirudegarn chain was good-ish, but nowhere near strong enough to break into the meta. And what they unfortunately did was they kind of locked out the green stuff that they'd added earlier, which I think made the Hirudegarn chain really strong. The 6-drop doesn't interact with the 7-drop. The 9-drop, not Colossal Malice, the 9-drop blue-green card can evolve on top of the 7-drop, but it doesn't evolve on anything else. It was very cool. There's just a couple of things that they've done that I don't think were good enough for the archetype, for what they wanted it to do. There's my 2 cents. So how many energy has the Hirudegarn player got tapped here? I can't see. Is it 1?
It's got 3 energy open at the moment.
3 energy open.
Yeah, he just sparking the D magic to get the card to his hand and untap 2.
Right. So the Basil has, I believe the Basil's just swung. Oh, so he had 5 and rest, so he's activated the main on Basil and. Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now the sparking on the D magic is very interesting to me because obviously he wants the card in hand, but that 3 energy doesn't feel like it's gonna do much this turn for him. Really
as a blue player, you'll kind of want to have as much inactive as you can for this particular matchup because, again, yellow's got the potential to tap everything down. You want to kind of make them spend as many resources as they can, trying to outvalue you. It's yellow-blue matchup. Yellow versus blue matchup is very interesting, and the back and forth between how much energy can I untap versus how many things can I tap is a back and forth that really good players will know when it's time to push, when it's time to hold back slightly. It looks like we're going to have a really good matchup here between two players who know their colours really, really well. That sounded so patronising. I did not mean that in the sense that, like, this is green, this is blue.
This is a rainbow.
This is prismatic. So go on.
I'm just gonna say, it looks. I really like the inclusion in the Turles deck with the 4 copies of the Fruit of the Tree of Might, because that lets him get the activate battle skill on his leader for free.
Yeah.
Which is just a very nice plus 10k power, which is great for any sort of pressure that he wants to apply. I don't think there's any way that you can get the actual double strike effect though, because he needs the green energy for that.
No. You can activate it. It's all in this card text, isn't it?
Oh, I see.
It's yellow Turles. It's still got Turles in the character name, so it still gets the double strike. What I really like about Fruit of the Tree of Might is that it does it on both players' turns, so you can get that 20k combo power on the defense.
Yeah, I completely misread that. I thought that the cost reduction that the leader gave was for the actual leader's activate battle skill.
No, you can either give it 10k for the battle, or you can activate Fruit of the Tree of Might, basically. Which is quite nice, actually. The flexibility to give yourself 10k on the defense, even if you don't have Fruit, is really, really valuable. The yellow player's tapped down here, so this might be a good time for the blue player to kind of go heavy. He's played a Turles here and KO'd a few cards, which has set back the Hirudegarn player quite a bit, I'd argue, but I don't think that he's in too much trouble. Very clearly yellow has a wide board, but of those cards, Turles, the 5-drop, is threatening. The Basil is also threatening. And the leader itself has inherent threat built in because it's a potentially a 35k double strike. But as blue, you've got access to floodgates, you've got access to trunks, the super combos, the Hoya Emissary of Flame, which are one of my favourite super combos. If your life's at 4 or less and you have a Hirudegarn, a Phantom Demon leader, you drop 1 and draw 2, which is, you know, some decks inherently like that. It's Hirudegarn's got a lot to offer. That's all I'm going to say.
Dado, thank you so much for joining the Timbits gang.
4-drop Tapion. Is that the double striker? It is the double striker.
Yeah, it is. And something that's going to be very helpful for this blue Hirudegarn player going into this turn is knowing that the Turles player is completely tapped out. So all of the interaction that the Turles player is going to have is on the board, other than maybe a Freezer's Army reinforcements.
Yeah, excellent point, Ollie. Excellent point. Mono yellow doesn't have the access to the untap abilities, and he's already awakened his leader, so I don't think he gets the. Oh no, his leader's a draw 2, when he's got 3 of my life flipped up. So he's only really, I'm going to say, quote unquote, worried about super combos or a Freezer's Army reinforcements. But again, he's just spirit boosted here, I believe, taking his unison down to 1 marker. He's played the 3-drop Hirudegarn, which the picture for that card always confuses me because it looks like the black spike is a nose and it's a mouth that's open. It's kind of like a.
Are you talking about the knee?
No, Hirudegarn catastrophic comeback.
Taking a big yawn.
Yeah, it's like he's a sleepy boy. He's just woken up. He's like, ugh, what's going on? You know, as the city around him crumbles to dust, kind of like Godzilla taking a nap. He's just like, all right, what's going on, guys? 1 minute. Let me stretch. So we've immediately evolved up to the fire drop just to get back to the gameplay. We've got that dual attack down, which is quite nice.
You turn that blocker to the hand as well.
Yeah, mega important to get that out of the way. Allows him to apply a bit more pressure.
Now he's able to start taking apart that board.
Yeah, you're gonna pick apart the board. You're gonna go for the. I'd argue you go for the Turles here. You get rid of a bit of that pressure. He's got the Tapion. I think he kind of smells blood here, and he's going. It looks like he's trying to go for a lot of actual life pressure. But the Hirudegarn player is on 4 energy and 5 life. The Hirudegarn awakened leader doesn't pitch 1, draw 2. It just draws 1, and then your opponent top decks a card from their hand. So the Turles player has a slight disadvantage in that outside of the cards in his hand, which could potentially be seen by Pycon.
Piccolo.
The SCR, the airdrop.
Super Pycon.
Super dude. So if he plays Super Pycon, he can see all the cards in his hand. He can also see all the cards in his life. Now that's important because it means that he knows what he's playing around, and he knows that if he hits him, you know, I can see he's taking a Tree of Might, a Fruit of the Tree of Might. I can see he's taking a 5-drop Turles. I can see, you know, there's not a lot of secrecy there, which means he doesn't have anything to surprise the Hirudegarn player with, and that's really important.
I'm really torn into which way this match is going to go, because on one hand, this Turles player has so many cards in hand, and looking at his life, he can pick up that Freezer negate anytime he wants, along with a Fruit of the Tree of Might, which he can then free play off his leader effect. So he has a really well defensively built arsenal to his disposal. But then on the Hirudegarn side, he's still on 5 life. He hasn't even awakened yet, and he's still got a board going. Like, I have no idea which way this one's going to go, and both players have a really threatening boards.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Hirudegarn, when he is awakened, once he hits 5 life, he's also going to get his additional effect where he gets to send a card from his opponent's hand back to the top of their deck.
Yeah, so it's a 4 or more energy requirement.
4 or more. Okay, so right now, as long as he can awaken, then he's got that. So that's another thing to consider.
One of my favorite things about the blue Hirudegarn leader is it's a blue leader that untaps 2. So even if you're all out of options for untapping, if you awaken, you get 2 energy back, and because the leader just draws a truck ton, or it can draw a truck ton, with the right setup, you get that secondary advantage of having the energy to then play extra cards, or to, you know, activate negates if you need to. You know, if you're on, if you manage to get to 3 life and you don't want to do anything, or you don't want to commit a spark and negate like he's just done with the dimension magic, you have the option to play with your energy a little bit more.
Ooh, cooler. Okay.
There's the copy of the cooler.
Doesn't get a restand, but at least he didn't tap down his last one.
Correct. If he had, I think that would have been game.
Yeah. Good move. Now he's at least in his awakening range. That's another thing. When you were talking about a blue leader that untaps 2, yeah, I think you just explained Storm to all the chat there.
Pretty much. And that was one of the main things that made the deck so strong. Is the fact it reminds me a lot of Red Broly now. Red Broly is an aggressive deck that, you know, extends plays really heavily with the swap chains, and then untaps 2 and gets to extend further. So, as the Turles player here, what are you looking to? What's your? Now you got rid of the Unison, mega player to get rid of the Unison. What are you? Are you going for game here? Do you smell blood and go for game?
It depends.
Getting rid of that Unison is a huge play, but even even with that gone, the Hirudegarn player still hasn't awakened. He can still awaken, and then he'll still be able to tap the 3 for a heroic prospect or something like that. Could really shut this Turles player down.
Yeah, I don't know how much heroic prospects does at this point because the Turles player is on 5 energy.
Yeah,
you do make a valid point though. It does open up options for the blue player. My mindset with blue is if you've got 1 energy open, all your energy's open. If he swings twice and his opponent goes Dimension Magic, you know, there's at that point a lot of things that the Hirudegarn player can do.
You literally spoke one of the DBS card game 10 commandments there. Blue has 1 energy open. They got them all.
Don't quote the scriptures to me, child. I was there when they were written.
Right there at the foot of the mountain.
Wait, what are the 10 commandments? If 1 energy open, all the energy's open. The second one is...
The second one is yellow has always been busted. It's been busted
all the
forever.
Just draw baby hatch. That's got to be one of them. You're absolutely right. I want to say Deggendorf. J. Deggendorf.
That is J. Deggendorf.
J. Deggendorf in the flesh. Blue could have no energy open and immediately have 7. You're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely spot on.
That's why they got rid of Xenobut, not because it was busted, but because blue can do that either way. It might take a couple Dimension Magics, a couple Sensu Beans here or there, but they'll do the same shit anyway.
I wouldn't have minded a Xenobutton retrain. It's kind of like a untap 2 counter attack. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't negate the attack, just untaps 2.
I mean, it's just like, yeah, but I also could have got a card to hand with 5 in the drop area and Dimension Magic.
Yeah, true. But I mean, it doesn't have to be mono blue, does it? It can untap.
True.
I suppose actually no Dimension Magic doesn't.
Yeah, Dimension Magic gives blue.
Yeah, true.
That's before they even had the mono in front of anything.
Well, and one of the big pros to playing Hirudegarn coming in right here with those Hoi super combos, drop 1, draw 2, and then triggering his, I think it's a Minotia that lets him then search the legs.
Yep, so you get that card back.
Yeah, that's one of the, it combos with the super combos, pardon the pun, and it also works with the leader, because the leader can pitch Minotia to then draw 2 and then search out the legs.
Yep. The funny thing about that too is when like Storm and all that's going on, people just ran that just to have an extra 5k like combo in hand. But this is actually working extremely well with the Hirudegarn chain like it was designed to be. So it's actually nice to see Hirudegarn actually use Hirudegarn cards. So
what you're saying is by being archetypal, Biriarr's actually being innovative.
Yes.
Spicy.
Yes, that honestly.
This card does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
Spice.
Nobody remembers Hirudegarn pieces. They just remember, oh, drop Minotia, that's the only Hirudegarn, and legs. Okay, we take that. Those are the only 2 pieces I'm running. Oh, why are you running those? Oh, more combo power.
Oh, right. So we've got a rival here. The Turles Dominance at hand. Oh no, it's just an activate main because you've got 2 or more Turles Crusher Corps in your battle area. So when he's played, you draw a card, then, because the card is yellow, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and KO it, which is quite nice. We popped the Tapion there, the double striker.
Is that the Turles where it's depending on the leader color, you get a different effect?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's green, you tap down a battle card, and if it's yellow, you KO a battle card, which is interesting. Kind of reversed it.
Yep.
Oh, he's past turn. That is huge.
Okay.
The Hirudegarn player has effectively 7 energy to play with now.
7
because he managed to save his awaken.
Wait, no. You forgot minimum 7 energy.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Just wait till we see those beans too. And
he's swinging without
Turles
awakening?
player is on.
Really? I thought he would play something, swing, get his extra effect.
So he swung here to get the pitch draw too.
I guess so. He's
Yeah,
really
I
searching.
like that.
And I think, does that Minosha play itself? Yeah,
Yep.
so the
Yeah.
reasoning is to bait out the
Yeah.
Poutine before
That's
he
true.
goes up an evolve chain.
It's played on his
Massive.
skill. That was smart. Hey, he's got the insight
Very
here.
well
I don't.
played.
So he's got the 2 energy to get the 7 drop out. He's blocking this attack, it looks like. But I don't think that's the Hirudegarn player's
Oh,
game plan.
he's grabbing a lot here. Ooh,
There he is.
Pycon. Fight Night 8's Pycon's Fight Night.
Damn.
Icon is too good.
Goodbye, board.
See
Hello,
ya
hand.
in hell.
This Turles player must have like 20 cards in hand.
Oh
by now.
yeah.
That's boss.
Power of
Pyke-
Super Saiyan.
He
Pycon's
can't
gonna
make some
need.
poutines on because he's already played the 1-drop. I want to say Tapion.
Minosha.
Minosha,
That's
yeah.
why he played it that way, which was very smart. Because the way Poutine's worded, she is once per turn, so she has to trigger on the first time it happens, or
Yeah,
you lose
exactly.
the skill.
Tom, you're welcome, sir.
But the thing is, he still has his leader on tap 2, so he can still go
Very
into.
true.
I believe the 7-drop only
Yeah.
evolves for 2.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dad. I'm playing Pokemon. See, I knew it.
So even though he loses the Super Pycon swings, it's
Minosha's
still a lot of
actually
pressure.
Minosha's a male character.
Wait,
I really hope Minosha's a male. I'm gonna have to Google this now.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they're brothers. They're both Link. But seeing Biriarr's
Yeah,
deck
brother.
here, he looks like he's on like 5 cards left. Like he looks like he does not have. Okay, maybe a little bit. It looked very thin when he had it.
It looks like it's less than 20.
Oh, way less than 20. I'm taking my bet at 11.
This is clearly the reasoning for him being on 55 cards rather than 50.
Yeah.
He's just turboing through it.
When you got a super combo that draws 2 and you're getting a card out of the deck.
Yeah,
Ooh.
absolutely.
So we're completely tapped down here. We've got the
Yeah,
riposte,
riposte
which
coming
is big, but now
He's
we
got
are
those
completely
2
tapped down.
1-drops. The 2 1-drops are
It's
going to
true.
allow him to get some nice attacks in.
Yeah, yeah. So another thing to remember as well is that the 7-drop has triple strike, and Pac-Man's on 3 life.
Yeah,
Yep.
He
so
awakens here, untaps 2, then taps 2 to evolve, gives it triple strike, swings and just Hail Mary.
and in terms of negates, it looks like
Here it
the
is.
Turles player only has 3 Frieza's Army reinforcements. right?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
He goes
Okay.
for a Ahoy.
interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have the 7-drop?
I guess
Surely
not.
he has it by now. He's got 4 copies. He must have it by now. He must just be choosing not to go for it.
No.
But he does get the free swing with the Unison because Mecha Frieza doesn't affect Unison swings.
Very true.
Very helpful.
So I wonder if he's baiting out another negate. But my question is, how does he untap the energy?
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't
Very
know.
good point.
It's blue. They'll find a way.
Mm.
Sells his soul mid-match, maybe? I don't know.
I'm not
just
sure if he's going to
lifts-
survive going into the next turn, though.
I mean, looking at the what does the Turles
Passing.
player do on the? I mean, the Turles player obviously has the fattest of hands and can
Yeah.
play
Has
a
an
bajillion
actual
cards.
deck
But
in his hand.
yeah. But what does he do? Like he plays a 5-drop, and
How
then,
many markers is that Unison on? Is that 1?
I believe
one,
2.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah,
Turles
the
or
Turles one,
Tree,
sorry.
the tree.
that's a Eggman, so it could be either 1 or 6. I'm gonna go with 1.
Because I'm just thinking, if it's on 6, then that's a Dragon Fist. If it's on 1, that's not a Dragon Fist.
Yeah.
Fist, yeah. Again, he's played a Basil, which is fine. It's a dual attacker, 19k. But so he swings twice. He either gives his opponent 2 cards, or he. I'm struggling to see a way where this yellow player. Is this Dragon Fist? Surely not.
Does look like it.
It
Yes.
is.
It must be 6 then. It has to be 6 markers.
Yep.
Yeah,
Eggman
there it
equals
is.
6. Someone call him up. Say it doesn't make sense.
What are numbers? It's dual attack. He's got double strike, dual attack, and he can't activate battle. Skills on battle card costs of 7 or less from any area when he's in a battle.
We're gonna need to see some D magics yet again.
Yep. Gonna hope and pray. Say your
He
prayers.
doesn't have the.
He
he's
doesn't
only
have
got
the
2
cooler,
energy
yeah.
open for the cooler. Yeah.
And he already, I think he only was running the 1-0, right?
Oh, that's true.
Where did?
There it is.
That D magic comes in clutch.
Yep.
He's
Where
not.
did Icon go?
Give me that 2 energy.
Oh,
he
he
gets
KO'd it.
bottom deck. Oh yeah, KO'd from the Dragon Fist.
Dragon
2
Fist,
cards.
yeah. Yeah, so Turles player with only 2 energy open, not gonna be able to do all that much in terms of applying pressure with that. But he has got a very strong board. Hirudegarn player only on 3 life too.
Looks like he's gonna try. What he's gonna try and do here is he's probably gonna try and force through. Yeah, force through some damage with the Dragon Fist. Do a couple of chip attacks with Basil, and then he's gonna try and tap 2 for the Turles to try and go for game. But unfortunately, it looks like the Hirudegarn player has got combo power on board, which is obviously not to be scoffed at. He's got negates to high heaven. He's just going to have a little bit too much, I think, for the Turles player to push through here.
Yeah, I think the Turles player is honestly better off just keeping that 2 energy for Steadfast Goku or another robotic riposte.
Yeah.
And just try and stall it out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Which,
Provided-
looking at the hand sizes, I think he might be able to pull it off.
Provided that Return of the Dragon Fist lives. Oh, he's taking the damage.
Taking
Here comes
it,
the
okay.
Turles. Swinging it the unison here.
He
Right,
drew that off life.
Must have drawn that off life.
Yeah,
There's no way you don't.
absolutely.
Okay.
Well, it's at least they negated some combo power off the field.
Oh, excellent point, Deggendorf. He's got Fruit of the Tree of Might live.
Yep.
That is huge,
There's the
actually.
second prospect.
Second prospect.
So he
comes
had one in hand.
clutch to stop that. An overwhelm secret identity?
Okay, okay.
He's like, get those heroic prospects out of here.
I don't want to see those.
And he's on
What do
6
you
energy,
think
so he
this
can
is?
swing without bottom decking 4 here.
Oh, that's
Wicked
the minions.
Saiyan.
Ooh. The Wicked.
What's gonna tap 2, bring it out, or make his opponent pitch 2, or make his opponent rest 4?
So he's not able to rest 4 here, so he's going to get the other effect, right?
Yeah, so it comes down. It's a 40k dual attack blocker,
And he
and
pitches
his
two.
opponent pitches 2. Yeah,
Yeah. That card is
and he takes the damage.
incredibly strong.
Unless processing would be if he takes the damage, he takes the damage first, then he can potentially Trunks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if Trunks is in his hand, that might swing it. Because he's going to be tapped out going into the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
And
this
he
is
wouldn't
this
have
is
used
close.
Trunks previous this turn, because Dragon Fist has Deflect. So it could all come down to this.
Gotta get above, what is that, 35? Yeah, 35.
Oh, comboing off the Hirudegarn.
30, 40, he's done it.
One
40.
card left in hand there?
Yeah.
Yep, but now is it not just game?
Well,
Unless
depends if
unless
Trunks,
that's
I think.
God's ceiling.
Yeah, if that's
If
God's
he's,
Ceiling.
if he's held on God Ceiling, this is gonna be,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop off.
And Big
Coming
Cake
down.
Colts and Frank, thank you so much for joining the Timbits gang. Let's see.
Do it! Flip
Is
it
it-
over!
Is it God's ceiling? Is it God's
is it?
ceiling? Oh,
no.
no.
Who's shrouded?
Oh.
Just gotta reveal the fruit and that's game. He's looking through his... What's he doing here? He's looking through his... Is this his drop or his hand?
Probably both.
I think it's his hand.
I'm not sure, you know. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
got
got
a
a
bottom
ditch.
deck
He's got a
4.
bottom deck 4.
Yeah,
Oh,
for the Heroic Prospects.
So it is his hand. Oh, we gotta do it each time!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord!
And the Pycon made it possible.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Oh,
Wow.
What a game!
That was tooth
What
and
a
nail.
game.
Wow,
That was
wow,
so
wow.
good.
Okay, guys. Message Rosas with your second leader.
I looked at the leader today, and he's put in 4 copies of the Galactic Disruptor. Galactic Disruptor, I can't speak. Galactic Disruptor is an awakened condition. The leader card is a yellow Boujack on its front side. You have 2 or more energy. You discard this card from your hand, flip your leader card to its back, and draw 2. So it becomes a draw 2 flip leader.
It's absolutely incredible, the power of that. To draw 2 when you flip your leader over. Never heard of it before. Still to this day, don't know why they did that to that leader. Same thing with Bardock. The red Bardock from set 13 when they had King Vegeta in the exact same set. No clue.
Something I love about this yellow Boujack list is he's actually opted not to go for an entirely mono yellow build with just Boujack cards and yellow staples. Instead, he's got a lovely little blue Boujack package in there, which makes me very happy to see. And then he's also running some blue-yellow arrival stuff to synergize it with it all together.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of this list. Not to take away from the Soul Striker list, if we can just direct our attention over there. There's, understandably, quite a lot of generic blue cards in this list. But you get to the back end of this list, and it suddenly gets.
I was gonna say, let's go. No spoilers yet, because I want to see some stuff. Because Jay's talking about it in the chat, and yeah, it's definitely something that when I saw the list, I'm just like, Pac-Man, come on, you crazy.
I hope that we get to see it.
Oh, I hope so too.
So with that hopeful mindset, I'm going to refrain from talking about the list outside of the blue cards that we would expect in here. So we've got the Baby Unison, we've got Few Shrouded, we've got obviously things like D-Magic and Trunks, we've got 1 copy of Turning the Tide, we've got a Baby Hatch, and obviously things like Senzu Bean and Great Ape Baby Golden Avenger. Boujack player here has charged the Zangief, tapped 1. Sorry, I believe that's a swing, and then oh, it's on the defense. Sorry, it's on the defense. He's comboed with a blue 15k Boujack to bring it into play, and that means that their opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy costs greater than or equal to the current energy into the leader card. It has to be into the Boujack first. Now the Bojack's KO'd, it can draw a card. Ollie, you'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that is all correct. I'm sure you've played against that card many a time enough to know what it does now.
Too many times. Too many times.
And Azeratorum is completely correct. I am beaming my cheeks off right now to see some Bojack action going on.
Oh, there's the card to get the draw too.
Absolutely massive turn from Bojack.
Yeah.
The quicker that Bojack can awaken, actually means that the Soul Striker is going to be on the back foot, because the Soul Striker can't apply that early game pressure, which then sets up the later turns to be a bit more of like a closeout game. Sorry, a closeout section of the game. Being at 15k, if the Bojack gets there, which, you know, let's not fool ourselves, he's going there straight away.
And the awaken turn of yellow Bojack is looking to be a very nice one, because he can trigger both the front side and backside auto to get that hand size really big.
Yeah,
Yes,
100%.
sir.
That's exactly what he's doing here with the Galactic Disruptor. And the main thing for playing yellow Bojack is really just to be able to play a card during your turn and then a card during your opponent's turn to get maximum value from your leader effect.
Yeah, because the once per turn on the Bojack leader on both sides says that when a Bojack Brigades card is played, you draw a card, which kind of constantly replacing itself, but it only works once per turn.
Oh, look at that. Look, he's just like, look at all my life. You're stuck at 5. You can't even awaken yet.
I can't fit all my life on this board. Let me just fan them out so I can see all 8 of them. So, important to note that Soul Striker does have an East Kai live. The East Kai, obviously meaning that the cards that are played during the opponent's turn are going to then force the Bojack player to bottom deck a card. Sorry, the Boujack player playing cards in their opponent's turn is going to force them to bottom deck. There's a second copy of the card.
Another Isekai.
Oh, okay.
So
Those guys are going to put in work.
Going to change the game plan of the Boujack leader somewhat, I would imagine, because you now don't want to play cards, obviously, in your opponent's turn. You want to leave them to your turn, so you're plussing in hand rather than negging in hand.
I forgot to mention the bets we got here. It's 63% on Biriarr, 37% of the Timbits on Larry, but it's from 6 people on both sides. So, you know, this could go.
We're going to single-handedly crash an economy here.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Soul Striker opting to draw a card rather than untap the energy. I don't think the Soul Striker needs to worry about untapping energy at this point. Soul Striker wants to Turbo Awaken here, surely. Got out of 4 life, Turbo Awaken, get all of the extra value. So what's Ollie? You are the resident expert on Boujack. What's the Boujack turn 3 looking like? What's the ideal turn 3?
Turn 3, from what I've played of the deck, is generally just playing a couple of 1-drops and drawing your hand up. Leaving some energy open going into your opponent's turn is ideal to either get like Riposte or Power of a Super Saiyan going, or just some 1-drop negates that play themselves to let you draw more cards. But the Isekais are going to be putting in so much work that it's really going to shut them down.
You're just like, hey, this is an extra card. Don't worry, I can play it. I don't need to drop anything. And now he does.
So Zangief comes down. She has an Activate 9 where you can drop, pop her in your drop area, give a Boujack card in your battle area critical for the turn. And then if you lead a card as a Boujack Brigade, when she's played, you choose 1 Boujack card from your deck with an energy cost of 1 and play it and shuffle your deck. So you get to play the Zangief, draw a card from the Boujack leader, and then play another Space Pirate directly to the battle area, which is what we've done there with I want to say Bujin. It is Bujin.
It is Bujin, and the critical effect comes in really nicely later on in the game if you can establish either of the 2 8-drops, because you're swinging with big guys that have suddenly got critical, especially with the blue 8-drop, because he's a double strike dual attacker, and getting crit on that thing is going to be monstrous.
Yeah. I like the fact that we're running the yellow 8-drop and the blue 8-drop. The yellow 8-drop is very, very swingy. If you can get that to land turn 4, without being... If you've got 5 or more life, you tap everything your opponent has. And then whenever they switch card to active mode, be that charge, things like D-Magic or Senzu Bean, you warp a card from their hand per card they untap.
Yep, and this is Soul Striker, who likes to untap as well.
Yeah, that's a really, really good counter pick by Biriarr here. We've just seen the first spicy part from this Soul Striker list. We've seen an Oceanus Shenron.
Oh, and we also see what got sent to the drop there. We got Haze in the drop.
So the Haze Shenron critical blocker attacks and chooses a battle card of your opponent's and warps it and then switches to active mode at the end of the turn. That's been discarded because of Oceanus Shenron. Obviously, we're not getting the effect of the 3-drop in drop because the leader card's obviously not a Shadow Dragon. But this Oceanus Shenron, I love this card. When your opponent attacks the turn that it's played, you mill 4.
Yep.
And it looks like he's starting to attack through it just to apply that further pressure going into a Soul Striker turn 3. Which on paper seems like a great idea because you want to hit them down to lower life before they can awaken with their unison. Mm-hmm. But Yellow Boujack is a deck that draws a lot of cards, so I'll be curious to see if that mill 4 will come in later.
And you also got to put it in this too, is that he's trying to play as much of his stuff that he has to play during the battle phase, during his combo phase, because of that Kai. He's just you know what? I'll mill 4 rather than having to ditch these cards to the bottom. Oh, look at that! Ooh. All of the energy used,
and all the arrivals coming in. Yep. That Boujack gonna rest one of the Kais. The Vegeta and Cab are bottom decking the other one. So now potentially he's gonna swing into the Kai so that he can start getting that value train going.
Yeah, yeah. So this is what the Boujack kind of this is exactly what the Boujack player wanted. It wanted to get rid of the Kais to then open up lines of play in the opponent's turn once he rearranges his 43 cards that he's got on board, which will then allow him to start, return the value train. And again, in the long game, milling 4 is not the end of the world. Being able to draw 4 potentially, which is what it's going to be able to do. Look at that, he's double clear, absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah, because he's able to use the leader's effect to kill stuff in rest mode with combos.
That's amazing.
And something very nice that the Boujack player has got set up here is he's got those 2 3-drop Bojacks, which are both going to be evolved targets for the 8-drop Boujack or the yellow 8-drop Boujack going into his turn 4. So if he has either of those survive, that's going to be the perfect evolved target. But also, they're evolved targets for the blue 8-drop if they can survive till his turn 5. And also that 4-drop Boujack is another evolved target for the blue one. So going into his turn 5, if he can have all of that stuff survive, he's going to be able to drop the yellow 8-drop into the blue 8-drop, which would be a very strong combo. The only thing he's got to watch out for is God Sealing, of course.
The card that's just been played by the Soul Tracker player is a 3-drop Unison, which has allowed him to awaken. SS3 Gogeta Super Warrior Evolution. Dual attack has a permanent where if you've got a Saiyan card in rest mode and your leader card is a blue Saiyan, you don't take damage from attacks, which is obviously very good. And then an activate main, you can take 1 marker off, choose 2 opponent's battle cards, return it to their owner's hands, and then choose a mono blue Saiyan card with a cost of 2 or less and play it with its skills negated for the turn. Now, I don't think that the Gogeta player was right there to not take both of the Bojacks away. The 3-drop Bojacks. He's swinging into the second one, but it's difficult to call because the Bojack player is going to defend this.
No.
Or
he's not. He's just like, nah.
Ignore what I said. He heard me and he went, do you know what? No.
I ain't playing by your rules.
The Unison is a 20k dual attacker, so defending that 3-drop would cost him a lot of stuff.
True. And I suppose, if he's running the Bojack at 4, if there's a way for him to get out a Bojack 3-drop... Sorry, another Bojack Brigade card, he can replay the 3-drop. I was going to say he can untap an energy, but can he untap an energy? I'm not so sure.
But you also got to put this into perspective. Him letting that Bojack go, whatever, he's like, he knows he's not going to swing with Gogeta because he still has 8 life. He's just like, sure, give me cards to hand. I'd love that.
It doesn't look like the yellow Bojack player is going to be able to drop his yellow 8-drop this turn. But that does open him up to some other value plays of just swarming the board again, like you saw last turn, with the cards that he got back to his hand, with either some arrival plays or just some little 1-drops to give him some extra cards in hand.
Yeah, it becomes a... Sorry, Rob, go on.
No, I was just saying, there's the heroic prospect. I think that might be one of the original... Oh, no, that might be one of the 86 reprints, but...
You're absolutely right. The most printed card in Dragon Ball history, next to Senzu Bean, Zarbon, and...
No, Senzu Bean and Champa maybe, but those have been in the game since the start, so that makes sense.
Has Champa been reprinted that many times? We've had
I don't think so.
Books.
We've had the...
Zarbon has at least 4 reprints.
We also have the Broly, like, expert starter deck, like, when they started doing that, with it was like, it's where it came with the first green, yellow, and red, blue multicolor stuff. It was the yellow Broly leader with the reprinted leader art. There was Champa reprints in either that or the Gogeta version. I don't remember.
Oh, right. There's the, yeah, I know what you mean. The Magnificent Collection.
Yeah, there we go. That's the name.
Yeah, fair. Well, I've decided to join the caffeine brigade. But,
yeah, well, the Bojack brigade.
Because I'm a gamer, I've got my gamer juice, Monster Energy, not endorsed, obviously. I don't know if you do want to wear.
Not yet.
Yeah, give me a microphone and 5 minutes, and I'll change your life.
Gamer juice does not sound like a legal phrase that should be said.
I heard they're giving prospect for your third shot for COVID's new Bandai promo. What a call! Brilliant.
Oh, nice.
Which monster? I've got Monster Mango. You bought that Monster Mango before we played this morning. Have you still not drank it? You just waited like a well-timed Senzu bean. Ah, right. So we've got the Poutine down. Poutine's going to help us rest cards if we play with skills, which is probably something that the Soul Striker player will look to do at some point. I don't know how relevant it's going to be now, but again, still yet to see the spice. We can see the spice.
It might be a top 4 right now, and come on, Pac-Man, do it.
The Boujack player managed to clear off the Unison last turn, which means unless the Soul Striker player can deal with this 3-drop Boujack...
You listen to me, I knew it, and there it is.
Here it is.
The 4-drop...
How many keywords do you want? How many keywords do you want?
Yeah, jeez. What is it? Double, deflect, barrier, BJ, TJ Maxx. What else you got?
TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's deflect, double strike, barrier, blocker, so it's incredibly hard to interact with. You can't tap it down with Poutine, which is massive. If you lead a card as a Shadow Dragon, when it's played from your hand or discarded, you peep top. If it's a Shadow Dragon, add it to your hand, otherwise place it at the bottom of your deck. And activate main/battle, Spirit Boost 1. Switch this card to active mode, your opponent mills 1, and then you choose a Shadow Dragon extra card in your hand and activate its activate main or battle skill without paying its energy cost. Now we don't have any Shadow Dragon extra cards, but we do now have a very threatening mill 1.
Horrifying.
Truly the darkest timeline.
Ooh,
so what we've seen is we've seen a swing with Soul Striker to untap 2, Senzu Bean, and then we've comboed away an ape to try and push through some of the damage.
And that bean is going to be huge because that gives him the 3 energy that he needs to potentially drop another Unison.
Yeah.
Giving him the threat of God Sealing into the next turn to stop the 8-drop.
But we're going monkey time.
But we're going monkey time, for sure.
I'm now going to use that every time I play the card. It's now monkey time. It's now monkey time.
It'll scare you. See, that's another tip, guys. There's a tip every round on how to increase your Dragon Ball. I was gonna say playability, but that doesn't make any sense at all. But sure, we'll go with that.
It's the psychological warfare aspect of the game that I'm the master of, and that I feel nobody's on my level. It's hard. It's just hard being this good.
And yes, Carl, I did say tits. Oh, there's the dreaded 1-drop again.
Oh,
that does make him tapped out.
It does, but you've got to remember, it's blue.
Sparking D magic.
It doesn't matter. That sparking D magic going to take us down to 4 life. We're gonna be rolling. And let's be real. If he hasn't drawn Baby Hatch, and then he's just not. He doesn't deserve to win. Let's be honest. I don't make the rules.
The Boujack player does have some very decent evolved targets established here with the 3-drop and the 4-drop.
3-drop goes, so the Boujack player has 3 in hand. I've just noticed this. It's very low.
Wow. Yeah.
Don't know what's happened there. We've got the potential for the 8-drop to come down next turn. The blue. We've got the potential for both of them to come down because we do have lots of energy to play with.
Gonna be hardcasting them soon.
I mean, I'm not against hardcasting 8-drop cards. You know this.
Yep.
Tomku, you are living the life. I am.
It's true. That is Biriarr's line from Fight Night. Is that he's got a fistful of ass, and maybe that's what's going to pull him forward here.
Brilliant. So, looks like we're going to start swinging. How are you Excuse me. We're gonna go. Yep, there's the D
That's
magic.
the sparking.
Didn't draw Baby Hatch. Didn't need it. Didn't need it.
The Boujack player looking to apply some pressure, because that low hand size means he's not got long left before he's outvalued out of this game.
Yeah.
Unless he can start grabbing up those 8 life.
This Vegeta Cabba does have dual attack, which means he can put on a little bit more pressure, but it's only 19k, so is he swinging into the leader? He might well be, because we're looking at counting life there. It is 4v8. The Boujack player's not out of it yet.
It looks like
Sorry,
the Boujack player decided to forego charging this turn, I think.
I think with 3-9, I can't really blame them, can I?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why.
There's the Wicked Saiyans.
there's Wicked Saiyans again.
Making its second showing.
Double
Up
Wicked
there with
Saiyan,
Super Pycon
double
right now.
Super Pycon. Wow. 2
This is what we like
SCRs
to
you never
see.
see. I love it. Now Pac-Man
And-
going, son of a bitch, I used that on you last game.
The Soul Striker player only got 3
I would-
inactive, meaning
I would
the top
love-
2 is coming.
I would love Pac-Man to go. What does it do?
Yeah. So what does that
there's,
do now?
yeah, there's the 4. We switch 4 to active. We're going to bean
There's the
again.
bean.
No, we're comboing. Okay. So we're going to get to 20... Well, we're going to get to 30. We're going to beat 29. So yeah, we're comboing on the... We're giving the bean to the Shin-Shenron. We're super comboing to get to 35. And then we should be very clear of that. And then next attack, we're going to have to defend a little bit heavier. So he's tapping 4. Good call.
And that does put the East Kai in rest mode, which is very nice for the Boujack player, but I don't know if it makes much of a difference at this point with the number of cards in his hand.
Yeah, it looks like he's leveraged the advantage
Another
quite heavily
sparking
there.
bean.
I think he's just picked up another D magic. I think he dropped.
Yeah,
I
it a lot
honestly,
there.
yep.
Yeah, I think I saw that too.
Want to see me do it again? Now see how it feels back. To be honest, I don't think Pac really cared. Pac tapped 4 and went, yeah, I'll just untap them all again. Cheers for the life, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yep, there's the other D
Yeah,
magic.
Jesus.
Yep.
Okay,
Soul
so
Striker with a stack of cards in hand right now.
yeah,
as
Soul
well.
Striker's he's opening up a small library, I think. Next turn, we've got a 5 energy. That's looking like a baby Golden Avenger. I would argue that maybe getting a Unison live would be what you want to do.
Yeah,
We're over
Probably.
here. There's fighting against Fate.
Ooh,
Okay,
Nice.
he's
really trying to apply some pressure
Yeah.
now.
It's a Giannis.
oh
Poutine can switch on
lord.
to rest mode. but
That's
it
true.
doesn't do a huge amount.
That is true. He stops the blocker at least if he's gonna go again.
Yeah, and I mean, if
It's
he's
a
overwhelming for
prospect.
fighting against Fate, he's going in this turn.
Poutine can't? Question. Can he not?
I think it can.
It only triggered off the infinite D magics.
Oh, because it triggers off counter skills, doesn't it?
No, it's just
Oh.
auto. I thought it's just skill to play a card played with a skill.
I think it triggers off counter.
When your
as well.
opponent plays a battle card using a skill or activates a counter skill. So
Oh,
it has already
or
procs.
activates a counter skill.
Already procs.
Oh.
Crazy. It's the man with the answers. The man called Pro-An. He's here to educate. Turn 5 again. So this is what I was getting at before we saw the really spicy Wicked Saiyans play. Turn 5, I'd like to see a Unison coming down. You know, to put that little bit of extra pressure on. Doesn't have to be the dual attacker, but baby Unison going to 5 markers, you know, it's very, very scary.
Swinging with the.
That Goku, such a strong card. Just a 1 energy 15k blocker that draws you a card.
Yep, with deflect. It's important to note that he's got deflect.
Of course.
You like Kamehameha coming down, that becomes a 30k. Oh my lord. Yep, clearing the board. He's the Soul Striker player here is just completely wiping this board out.
Yeah. He just
Yeah.
like. Wait, you got what? 2 in hand? Yeah, we're not touching that life. We're just gonna wait till I can go to whatever turn I want.
I'm
6,
gonna
7.
kill you from 8. Watch.
Yeah, I'm curious to see whether the Soul Striker will look to kill through life after building up a big board, or just sit back and go for the mill game plan, honestly.
He does have the
And because the Soul Striker
Sins.
players cycle in a lot.
Yeah.
Awakened Power incoming. Hard cast Awakened Power. The Soul Striker running out of cards. They look to be on very similar deck totals. This is why I think that the Soul Striker player should be forcing the Unison through, which clearly they're listening to me, you know? It's pro tips. Oh, in hand. No, I think we've still got a small library. I think we're at about 7 in hand.
Yeah, about 7.
Yeah, 7 is what I'd say.
You Spirit Boost here, you mill one, and now you start to crank up the pressure. You've got a wide board, you've got blockers, you've got things that bottom deck cards from hands. You've got the double strike pressure if you want it. You can clear the board when they play stuff. You've got Trunks live. Oh, this is actually, I really like this. I really like the way this is stacking up. Is Boujack still on Nightlife? Yes, Boujack is still on Nightlife. It's a joke. Not a fucking joke. No, Tom. This is real life. Damn it. Absolutely love it. So this is where the downside of the Boujack leader comes into play. Boujack doesn't have any draw built into the leader.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, he's milling on both turns! Oh, that's so good! That's so good!
And that freakout was brought to you by Monster.
Oh,
Buy
I
yours
love
in
this
mango
deck.
flavored.
This is so good! Oh, Jesus,
Ooh,
Eggman with the raid!
Eggman, thank you so much for bringing all the eggheads in here.
Oh,
Just
this
in
is-
time to watch a Soul Striker that has Xeno Sin in it.
Just in time to watch Turtle Stone lose his mind at this mill
Yeah.
deck. Oh.
Pilgor, I don't even know what the hell you wrote, but I know it's definitely some horrifying copy
Because
pasta
it
from
requires
school.
a great film. I love that film. Really strong choice. Really strong choice.
About time I raid you back. Well, thank you so much, Eggman. Means a lot. Cappy 10, thank you so much for joining the Timbits gang.
Got 2. This is like Janemba. I love it. I love it so much. I cannot express how much I love this.
Eggman, thank you so much for being an absolute killer with that Prime sub. Also, I think you missed it earlier. Larry on the right here was using an Eggman official die, and it won him the game because we thought he was on one marker left, but it was really 6.
Oh my lord! Right, so to catch you up, essentially what the Soul Striker player has set up here is a situation where he puts his 2 on the Unison, swings with 2 double strike sins, and then untaps those sins with their Spirit Boost effect to force his opponent to mill cards, whilst also having an incredibly wide board and the ability to just lock his opponent out by just clearing the board.
And this is where the fact that the baby Unison has a +2 effect really comes in clutch to keep those Spirit Boosts alive throughout both players' turns.
Pieces are aligning. And the best bit is, he can do this Spirit Boost mill one on both players' turns. Eggman dice pay to win. Love it. It's not who you know, it's who you roll.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Heard that quote in Fortnite once. Okay. Let's.
Wait, is Eggman in Fortnite?
Oh god, yeah. You know what? Right here, official. Eggman's got a partnership with Fortnite now. We're announcing it here on Fight Night.
You heard it here first, folks. We've had more. We've had Rick. We've had who else? Who else is in there? I don't play
Kratos.
Fortnite. Kratos, yeah.
Basically, any fighting game icon will eventually be in
And
there.
now
Goku will
Eggman.
be there eventually.
Goku,
Can't be
but he can't
leaking
build
this.
anything. He can just fly through them. You can't be. You can't be leaking this. I feel as though. Okay, so there are posters come down. For 1 energy. Yep, because we've milled a final flash. And we've got a super combo here to rest one of the 1-drops. He doesn't want to rest the 4-drop because he'll have to mill extra cards. But this is looking more and more like a lockout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky for Boujack to come back.
He's used the Kamehameha on the Sin, I believe, that's in rest mode. Eggman dice. Guaranteed to roll a 6 or lower. Straight facts.
Very true.
It has to be blue to pump 15k.
It doesn't. It only says
Your
if
leader,
your
has to be
leader
blue.
is blue, yeah. And then for the auto, depends on if your energy is blue.
Thank you so much for the lurk, Eggman.
Yeah, Blinky. We've got the deck list in front with. We're using the premium deck builder, dbstechplanet.com. Do you know what? I am endorsed, so yeah, just putting that out there. We can see the card lists as and when we pull them up, but yeah, it's the only requirement for the 15k is that your leader card is blue.
Which I
Tom,
believe
stick
is
it in the
most
chat.
of those IRs. IARs,
Yes, all the
whatever.
IARs require that colour energy. Tom, pop the copy pasta in the chat if you will. That would be great.
And the
Oh,
Boujack
no.
player.
Oh, night botch on the
Oh,
book
yeah.
down. It's right because there's a link there. That's true. Why is Ned the CEO of sex? Because Black Xeno Sin. That's why.
Oh, he's back. I thought we'll get timed out there. Love it. Love it.
Capitan, thank you so much for being an absolute killer with a tier 1. Oh, the hype train. What the hell? I don't even know how those work, but
Basically, you need to get one more event happening in sort of a short space of time, and you'll get special rewards.
gangster.
Right, so we've got a Boujack down. We've managed to land a Boujack. What can we do here?
He's only got 3 energy open though, so he's not going to be evolving. Ooh.
And Jay with the 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. There's the hype train.
That's the hype train, yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, look, and Big O, you know, Big
Yeah,
O is
thank you very
Spira.
much.
I just want to see Boujack get out of this because both these players have been playing so well. I just want to see them go to third match.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the AOD deck.
Oh,
Even though I'm sure it's a very standard list. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I just ever since that first match, they put a hell of a show, and this one is just Boujack just being stuck with 3 cards in hand for the past 5 turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, not charging a single card.
The problem, I think the unfortunate truth of it is that the Boujack player needed one more energy.
Yeah.
One more turn to get that. Because as soon as before this board gets developed, that 8-drop Boujack comes down, suddenly Soul Striker's got no hand. If you've got no hand, you can't set this up, and then, you know, they're on the back foot massively then. And it becomes a game where Boujack just sits back. This really is what Fight Night's all about. It's 2 massively off-meta decks smashing the reds against each other. Right, so the Boujack player has taken 4 life. It's not worth ignoring. The Boujack player has taken 4 life. Beano the Cruel's coming down. This is a 1-drop cantrip, which has an activate battle ollie. What does the activate battle do?
Give it plus 11k power and double strike until the start of your next main phase.
There it is.
So you can leave that dice on your card until after you charge. Just like the Boo Unison. Now sadly, I don't think this is going to be quite enough to save this Boujack player.
No.
Because he is staring down a massive board and a potential
Whoa.
baby counter going into next turn.
Ginormous board.
Well, I think even worse than that. Next turn, it's turn 6 now. Oh, there it is! He's drawn Baby Hutch! There it is! GG!
Get him out of here.
No, so Tom, he played Arrival of the Space Pirates, played out Zangief, and Zangief played Beano the Cruel, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Where have you gone? Long-haired woman. Yep, it plays the 1-drop from deck with an energy cost of 1. Thanks, Dad. You're welcome, son. You're welcome. Just scoop at this point. I mean, it's fair, Miyamoto, it's fair, but in the spirit of things, I think it's...
You see, if he scoops,
I'll
it's
give
over
them the
anyway,
credit
right?
to finish you off.
Yeah, if he scoops, it's completely over. If there's any chance at all that he can make it out of this, he needs to play it out. He now has 2 Boujack Brigade in deck. There's the fear. That's gotta be game. There's nothing you can do.
That's game.
Hold Bloodlust.
Oh, bloodless.
Tom,
drop
you
in
ordered
Ash.
the sad Zamasu. The Timbits are gone.
Oh no, I've lost Timbits now. No.
I'm holding on to mine for the next match.
The Boujack player has lost. There is. He can tap down. Wait, no, he can't even tap it down. I was gonna say he can tap down for you, but he can't tap down for you. He's also locked out of plays for the next turn, which is horrendous.
Yep.
You can
Pretty
make it to
awesome.
next
Yeah, that's
turn, that
GG.
is.
You just scoop. There's nothing you can do here. Yeah, you got 6 in hand, but you got 1 life and you can't do anything. So there's not much point, is there, at this point? Spirit boost, go on. Spirit boost 2. You can't tap down because Zamasu's not live. Hello.
Did he tap down? I thought he just was swinging with that one.
Oh, was he? Oh.
Yeah, I think he was just doing it because Zamasu at least is
Oh,
still
he was swinging into a
0-10.
battle card.
Yeah, it was
Right.
still
Yeah,
0-10.
I mean, he wouldn't have been able to
Rival.
tap it
Rival.
down anyway, 'cause it's got barrier.
Counter rival.
True.
No, it wasn't AOD Evilment in game 1. It's the ones that are
Grayed out
have been played. So yellow Turles beat blue Hirudegarn. Very, very close game.
Yeah. And there's 40 single right to the teeth.
No way is he passed. I was gonna say.
And there's the
There's the 2 8-drops.
both.
Needed the extra energy.
Oh,
Yeah, he needed
Lord.
that one
My
more.
Timbits!
God healing.
There's the God Seal.
All of the 8-drops were still in his deck.
Oh, it's so
That's really
feels
rough.
bad.
Yeah, and it looks like Pac-Man's taking that one away. Another 2-0 here. That first game was super, super close.
Massive props to both of those players there.
Oh,
100%.
that was
Yeah.
some beautiful
What?
play.
Great game. Great games.
Glad I got to see the Boujack deck, even if it didn't pop off like I wanted it to.
Hey, this is officially your second Fight Night win.
Yep, second fight night win. And if I would have got to deck 3, I was gonna bring it back.
Yeah,
I did see the gentleman's agreement. Turn 1 commemorative photo. You have to scoop.
You have to scoop.
That's another commandment. Commandment number 4.
Yep, it was. I mean, he's a really good player. I definitely think that he came with spice. I came with spice as well. I decided to play yellow Turles for Carl. So I hope he enjoyed it. I got talking to my captain Jay in Kami House Security. And we kind of talked decks. I had to kind of get some revenge, so I am sorry. Couldn't let Hermit Style go down two fight nights in a row. So I'm just grateful that I was able to, come in and show up and show out. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream and got to see the cool deck. Shout out to the Hill Twins. They kind of inspired this build of Soul Striker. Mine's is a little different from theirs. I think they run 60 cards. I can't do 60. That's just too much for me with this build. But it's a really good deck as far as, just something fun to play in the offseason. I don't know how meta relevant it would be with it being blue-black, but it is definitely fun to play.
I would really want you to go back and rewatch the match, because particularly that last game, when all the pieces fitted together and you started milling, I just lost my mind.
Yeah. So it's like it almost gave me. I've never played Janemba Mill, but I've seen it be played by Spiro on his Twitch sometimes, and it kind of felt like that.
Yeah, it was just, I was like, he mills one, he mills two, he mills. It's on both turns. This is insane.
Yeah, it's on both turns.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. With the first game, sorry, not the first game. Going into the second game, what was your thinking with the deck that you picked?
We just wanted to show the two. I felt AOD wasn't truly Spice. It is a deck that me and Fast Eddie has been having a blast with, and I was just like, Fast Eddie, send me the list. I gotta play it if I get to match 3. It's just turning cards sideways, so I felt like that was the least exciting deck of the 3, because it's just aggro. Whereas I do think if we would have had the Boma Boo match, that kind of would have been kind of cool to see if I can get through his wall of defense. But I chose Soul Striker mainly because it was blue-black, and when I sent my list to Rosas, he had said, "Blue-black Xeno Dragons? Are you insane?" And
I did mention that.
Once he said it, it literally solidified my second choice. I had to play Turles for Carl. Carl's been talking about Turles, and he's trying to make it fairly good. As of right now, with Turles, I am, since like playing it in like locals and here, I've only dropped 1 game with it so far. And testing, I've dropped several games. Just trying to find the right ratios and doing what I can. But to play Soul Striker second was just because it was blue-black, and I was like, man, I want to see if I can actually pull this combo off with the 4-drop, because on turn 4 it has deflect and barrier. It's coming down, you're not going to stop it, and if you don't see Final Flash, the card's just going to stay there forever. And as long as I have a unit 2 markers, I can just keep doing it. It's not limit 1, it's once per turn on each card. So that's why I was like, on the last turn I was like, double spirit boost, drop 2 for me, mill 2 for me, they both restand. And at that point I had 1, 4, 5 double strike attacks, so I can take him from 8 to 0. Shout out to my boy Bruce from the Discord, who's also in the Hermit style. He plays a lot of Boujack, so I kind of have some experience against it, and he plays it very passive, just like Burr did. And I was just like, just gotta stop the big boy from coming down. Just gotta keep his hand small. So yeah, when I started seeing him get rid of the Boujack pieces, I was like, okay, cool, he's not gonna be able to. So we just gotta get there.
Yeah, you definitely managed to stem the flow there, stem the flow. I mean, before we say goodbye, you've said lots and lots of shout outs. Is there anybody that you want to shout out before you go? The final ones?
I mean, you know, as far as Hermit style, you know, we're here holding it down. Shout out to you guys, Team Berserk. I feel like I'm an honorary member of you guys. My name gets mentioned in every single team talk for some way, somehow. Like, just some way.
Number
I just
one
get brought
fan
up,
of the
and I don't
team
ever. Yeah, I don't ever expect it, and I just be like, oh, I'm excited. People are gonna know my name. So I am Pac-Man, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy. You'll see me next time at Nets. I'm coming.
What a perfect way to end that. Well, you're winning yourself another meta leader from TCG Metals and taking it home for Hermit style. So that was
Sweet.
a great match, and it was an absolute blast to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait to rewatch it, man. I'm so excited.
Well, can't wait to have you in another fight night.
Sweet, man. Peace. You guys
Have a good
night.
one. You too.